Good evening, folks. It's Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project on Magnetic Reversal News, bringing you a grand solar minimum update Saturday, August 3rd at midnight 2019. Take a look. Antarctica used to have no ice. We're going to get to that. A lot of other things we'll get to. BC's unusually heavy summer rain. How about children injured in the UK from hail? Holy hail. And we'll throw some cold water on extreme heat hype. Remember, kids, float away with us. It's boom time. 11 billion tons of ice melted in Greenland in just one day, and you're all going to die. It's the new norm. And this was run off like a mimeograph, and that really shouldn't have happened like that. Over 8 news sources picking up the same headline. Greenland's ice sheet just lost 11 billion tons of ice, and we're all going to burn up. And I predicted 48 hours ago that that's part of the natural variability of the ice. Look at how highly variable Greenland's temperature fluctuates every week. And just like I said, it will turn up. It did the next day. It's going to turn straight up into the gray because it stays in the gray. The gray is the mean, the multi-decadal average since 1981. It only deviates from the means slightly. You can see these gray lines here. You can see it here deviating from the mean. There was massive amounts of gain this winter. Massive. They didn't report on that. Record gains. But when it gets a little bit out of the gray, see how much higher above the gray it was here? No reports. Down here, it comes a little bit below the gray. We're all going to die. Now, when this comes back up here into the gray, as I predicted, and it's already turned up the next day it already turned up. After the fearmongers are all going crazy, no one's talking about it turned up. Oh, thank God, it's over. Not one article on it being over and it turning up the day later. None. It's like crickets. It's like the Mary Greeley effect. There it is in close-up. Now, everyone jumps on the bandwagon. Sea ice in the Arctic is shrinking now, too. Yeah. Towards what could be a record low at all time. It's melting and we're all going to die. And there's purple lines to prove it. But there's also data that shows that the ice is in multi-decadal average in the exact same spot it should be for the last 2 decades. 3 decades even. And maybe turning into a record high over the summer. There's still ice from Russia to Greenland. And there's only 3 more weeks of melting. That's why the tiny fish called schmelt are running. Melting and schmelting all at the same time. You know Antarctica used to have no ice? Have you ever seen the Preparedness map? Now, according to this article and the scientific paper that is associated with it, let me get there. We're going to get there. The Preparedness map is not from 4 million years ago, but there's a scientific paper we'll get to at the end of this that's claiming that there's been wood found that's 4 million years old. A piece of wood. It's not fossilized. Yeah, it's not petrified. It's not even silicified. It's a piece of wood. And an actual scientist is claiming it's 4 million years old. I don't even know what to do with that guy. But it would take a lot of time. So read the article by Armstrong Economics if you do not know about the Preparedness map, which comes from the 1500s, shows an impeccably mapped Antarctica that's ice-free. There's no way you can get this coastline, which only recently we were able to see from satellite data and corroborate that it's true. And in 1500, they were sailing the seas with this map. Yeah. Someone is lying to you at a very deep level. It's almost insane. British Columbia's unusually heavy summer rain gets a thunderstorm boost Friday. I love Canadian weather. Yeah, I love the Weather Network. All young people, now, and they know about the climate, blah, 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 but they report on facts. And an atmospheric river makes for a soggy start to August because cosmic rays are at a new maximum. Children injured in a hailstorm in Bryn Mawr ice cream. We have footage. Due to cosmic rays. Increasing! Do a dab, an ice cream dab. Dabolicious! Can you hear me now? Alright, excellent. We didn't cut off the audio. We like to keep the audio running. We don't even know if there is audio. I hope there's audio. My goodness. That's a chicken. It has nothing to do with our podcast. But let's quickly get rid of that. Yeah. It was hail, big and forceful, shattering the plastic roof above us at the UK Bryn Mawr ice cream stand, and it injured children. Now, let's throw some... Damn, this is a new computer. I'm not used to it. It's very sensitive, like I am. You don't want to push my buttons. Let's throw some cold water on the extreme heat type. Heat hype! Heat hype! I'm sure in the last 3 days you're sick of heat wave and this and that and the other. They're all full of shite. And the AccuWeather is now picking up what we're putting down. And they're trying to, let's say, bridge the gap between reality and fantasy. And they do it in this article quite well. And it almost reads as if it's an op-ed. This is from AccuWeather. Bear with me. A story came to my attention recently that merited comment. It appeared in London's The Telegraph and every other U.S. rag owned by multinational corporations. And it was headlined, "Give heat waves names so people take them more seriously," say experts, as Britain braces for the hottest days. Now, as you read down in here, the author, Dr. Joel Myers, AccuWeather founder and CEO, goes on to state that AccuWeather, first and foremost, warns all people all the time in plain language on all their apps and their hashtag AccuWeather Real Feel trademark temperatures at the temperature hashtag guide that you have to pay for. So do it now so he can become a billionaire. But he's going to give you the truth here. He says, although the average temperatures have been higher in recent years, according to a fraudulent data set from NASA and NOAA, there is no evidence that extreme heat waves are becoming more common because of climate change. Because climate change is a word that means nothing because the climate has always been changing forever, in perpetuity, for hundreds of millions of years. So climate change isn't a new thing caused by humans. It's an ongoing thing. And when you consider how many heat waves have occurred historically, and you click on the link, AccuWeather has done an excellent job covering the hottest time on Earth in 1937 in North America. So is Tony Heller at realclimatescience.com, Toto on the web, Diamond at Oppenheimer Ranch Project, David Dubine, Adapt 2030, Christian Westbrook, Ice Age Farmer, and many others. Now, New York City has not had daily high temperatures above 100 degrees since 2012. And over 15 days in 1937 were above 100 in New York. But did you know that 5 such days since 2002 have occurred? In a previous 18-year span from 1984 through 2001, it was hotter in New York. It's crazy. Kansas City, Missouri, for example, experienced an average of 18.7 days at 100 or higher in the 1930s, compared to just 5.5 a year over the last decade. Not even close. There is no global warming, and AccuWeather is trying to clue you in on the facts. More facts, National Weather Service, weather.gov, gives you updates on your county if it's pink, purple, yellow, green, or chartreuse. And each of these things mean a different thing every day to keep you confused and obfuscate from the truth. But check the legend. And that means the boxes below that tell you what the colors mean. Flash flood risk continues over portions of the plains. Lingering impacts. That's Leah trying to call. She just got back. Hey, we're live on air. I'll call you right back. Love you. So I just got done driving 36 hours from Chicago nonstop back to Pagosa. I was here just this morning. Jesus. And then we added a few more hours, and I came through Iowa, Nebraska, came down here, and I'm now back here at the Four Corners. And just 2 days ago, I left from down here. Went up into North Jersey, across PA, Ohio, and the such, up to Gobles. Went up into the South Haven, and then back down through. And now I'm back. That's how easy that is to do in 2 days. Cost me about $400 in gas, $2,000 in a rental truck, but all of my belongings have been moved from one side of the country to the other for the first time in history. Nothing, I lie. My aunt has some stuff over here. Jesus. I'll get right back to you, babe. M6.6 earthquake hits 56 kilometers east of Lakatodo, Vanuatu. A powerful earthquake registered by the USGS 6.6 hit exactly where we warned 48 hours ago to occur, either down in New Zealand or over here in Indonesia. And we've had an uptick since the blot echo kicked off here in Tonga, down at about 6.3. 48 hours ago, 6.9 kicking off. No tsunami, no deaths. All is well. Water has appeared at the bottom of the crater in Hawaii's Kilauea volcano, and scientists don't know why. Yeah, because they're so compartmentalized, they don't even know if it's water or gas or it's some green from space. Read the article. It's embarrassing what people that are at university are claiming as science. It's so minuscule. The information that they're gleaning is like, yeah, we knew that. Yeah, you should have called me. Send me the memo. But the food we eat is a reflection on the knowledge in our brain. And that's all I have to say here. 6 underwater volcanoes found hiding in plain sight off the coast of Italy. This adds to the thousands recently discovered under Antarctica causing the melting. That's not it's not CO2, it's the underwater volcanoes in Antarctica. And now we have more threats off the coast of Sicily, in the Mediterranean. So if you live in that region, take note, take heed. Read the article. It's not a sharticle. It's facts that you need to know about, because these underwater volcanoes are going to begin erupting and are erupting now and will continue to increase as the years progress. Indonesia raised activity status for Java volcano after eruptions. A new volcano with the gigantic name of Jakarta. Indonesian authorities have raised the alert level for a volcano on the country's most popular island of Java from normal to caution due to its increased activity, the volcanic agency said Friday. Now, Mount Tanggapandan Parhu Bunabong. That's a lot. That's a mouthful. Tangkuban Perahu volcano. News and activity updates from volcanonews.com. Following the increasing seismicity, gas emissions, and other deformations in an isolated phreatic eruption last week, activity has again increased after a slight drop-off, with a number of further explosions and this yellow index going massively to the right, which could be a fright and could also develop a chart, because this, according to this chart, we're just getting started. So what you have is an initial pulse here in purple, and it goes back down. And then a secondary pulse in purple, and it goes back down. And then you have a tertiary purple pulse. The whole time this yellow is going up to the right. Letusan, Ambusan. Yes, that's the histogram of shakivity. Yes, it's getting very shaky in Indonesia. There it is, Tangkabu Brahma, whatever you call it. Worldwide volcano news update. Uluwan, ongoing. puffing to 25,000 feet, which is quite significant for Uluwatu, Kerinci, continuous volcanic ash to 14,000. Popo, Dukono, Reventador, Sangay, Sabancaya, possible ongoing. 15,000 at Reventador. Dukono puffing to 6,000. Also puffing to 6,000. Sabancaya to 27,000. That's over 5 miles. Sangay. Popo to 20,000. Multiple eruptions ongoing for several weeks now. Kadaminsk. Tangku Prahu. Many others. We see a slight uptick in the number of new volcanoes coming to the forefront. And now Rwanda says Congo border remains open as Ebola is spread by the World Health Organization on purpose.
Hours on Thursday, Rwanda closed its border with the Democratic Republic of Congo, a situation that prompted outrage from Kinshasa and went against the recommendations of the World Health Organization. Rwandan authorities reopened the passage several hours later, a relief for locals on both sides who cross the border daily.
The Congo depends on Rwanda, and Rwanda depends on the DRC. By closing the border like this, they deprived a lot of people of their earnings today, and most of the women here cross into Rwanda to get food for us.
Most of the DRC's Ebola cases have been in remote areas in the provinces of Ituri and North Kivu. But there's been increasing concern that it could spread into neighboring countries after 2 men recently died of the virus in Goma, near the Rwandan border. Health workers are racing to find and quarantine anyone who may have come into contact with one of those infected, a task made more complicated by Goma's population density and high mobility. Still, the World Health Organization warns that closing borders could increase the spread of the virus by sending it underground.
People will find another way. There are more remote areas where if you can't go across the main border, you can find a different way. And when that starts to happen, then the ability to check to see if people are symptomatic or not becomes that much more difficult. So it's actually quite counterproductive.
This Thursday marks 1 year since the DRC's latest Ebola outbreak began. Since then, the virus has killed over 1,800 people. For several hours on Thursday, Rwanda closed its border with the Democratic Republic of Congo, a situation that prompted outrage from Kinshasa and went against the recommendations of the World Health Organization. Rwandan authorities reopened the passage several hours later, a relief for locals on both sides who cross the border daily.
Holy macaroni!
The Congo depends on Rwanda, and Rwanda depends on the DRC. By closing the border like this, they
That's crazy. I closed the border too. Give them a thumbs up over there. 3 thumbs down, 1 thumbs up. People do not like Ebola. And I feel like I just got infected by hitting that. But anyway, I digress. Now, let's talk about some solutions. We're going to have Matt Powers coming down here in August, right here to the ranch. We're going to do an info documentary. He and I are going to walk around for 2 days. We're going to create maybe 10 or 12 informative videos. Then we're going to put them all together in one little document, and we're going to offer it out to the public. Yeah, that's what we're going to do this August for my birthday. That's my birthday request to Matt Powers over at thepermaculturestudent.com. So Matt's going to come out. We're going to chill for my birthday right after the Crestone event. He's currently in Pennsylvania doing some sustainable farming stuff because you know how that works. Yeah, it's harvest season, and people are doing that farming stuff. We're going to have Matt Powers out here in 2 weeks. I'm going to be over at the Crestone Energy Fair. Check that out at crestoneenergyfair.org, I believe. There'll be links below. And let's talk about more solutions and more problems with the world. I mean, you're going to just, if you read this paper coming out June 24th of this year, a solarium for hens, how to increase the vitamin D content for eggs. And then if you read the abstract, it says that in order to increase the vitamin D content in eggs, what you need to do is put your chickens in the sun. And I was like, as I'm reading the abstract, I'm like, did they just say put the chickens in the sun? Oh yeah. That's because factory farm chickens never get to see outside, ever. There are little portals that go outside of the barn, but they don't go out there. They look out and they're like, why would I go out there? It's bright and it sucks, and I was born inside this hellhole. And that's the unfortunate thing for even organic chickens, even free-range chickens. They do not go outside, which is why permaculture and raising your own chickens is so important. Our chickens see sunlight 18 hours a day. The hen houses have windows. And anyway, I digress. Read the paper. Be upset for yourself on how pathetic our society is. Antarctica Bombshell. 4 million-year-old discovery stuns scientists. Well, I just shared you at the beginning of this video that we already know Antarctica's been ice-free, and it's stunning this prick. He's so compartmentalized, he has no idea what's been going on YouTube and the internet and shared information worldwide from scientists that have come out of their shell. This guy is in his own shell. He's like a hermit crab, apparently. And he says that this piece of wood he found is 4 million years old. Yeah, it looks like you just picked it up out of the forest, you prick. And I could smell the doo-doo all over that. You make the call. Pure Reese map. Antarctica's been ice-free in the last 10,000 years. This guy's claiming that this piece of wood that's not fossilized is 4 million years old. Who's the idiot? God, I wish I had some mushrooms. Look at this. Are you looking at this? This is like awesome. Awesome sauce. Yeah, you're looking at the alpha Capricornids. I have no idea why. But we want to look at the Perseids, which we just had. Where are they? Oh, shart. Here's the mid-August. Alfred, the Perseid meteor showers is what you're going to be hours of powers looking at in the coming days. And if you want to look at it in 3D and expand the possibilities of what is possible with video imaging, come over here to meteorshowers.org, do a dab, get some hallucinogenics. Go hang out with John X Army, which I just did yesterday. We had a pizza. Him and his wife, me and Top Knot, we met right outside of Chi-Town, I think. I'm not allowed to tell you where it happened, but that's where it happened. Yeah, in a little town called... Now, if you watch BP Earthwatch, he will describe these as debris fields and fearmonger the shit out of you, which is why that prick was demonetized for Jesus. We'll leave you links. Solar cycles end with the Terminator event that heralds the new era of activity on the sun. And this means these Terminator events kick in the next solar cycle. We're waiting for solar cycle 25 to start, which it hasn't, because according to the mainstream now, we need to be looking for the Terminator event. I am the Terminator. The sudden death of the solar cycle can tell us about the Terminator. Now, we observe the abrupt end of the solar activity cycle at the sun's equator, according to a paper coming out 9th of July, 2019. Combining almost all of the 140 years of observation from ground to space, scientists have concluded that these Terminator events appear to be very closely related to the onset of magnetic activity belonging to the next solar cycle, in this case, cycle 25. And this appears to happen at mid-latitudes and the polar reversal process at high latitudes. So, we're waiting for the Terminator event to kick off cycle 25. And currently, if we just come over here to Ben Davidson's site, spaceweathernews.com, which, if you don't know about, you should know about, because that's a boom to knowledge. It won't even load because it's not even here. So let's just wait for it. There it is. That's what it'll look like as it loads very slowly if you have satellite. And you can see his last video showing Popo, which we reported on has been erupting for weeks, months, and even decades. We're waiting for the big one, VEI 3 or 4, popping off of that and burying some people in town, covering everybody in ash, which they can kiss my. And so, why are we coming over here? Terminator Events. Oh, you a Terminator. Yeah, actually, I wanted to show you the sun here, A1A, 193 angstroms, but it's not loading. So, hope you got something out of the video. I've been driving for 36 hours, and the first thing I did when I came home was to kiss my dog and make this video for your people, because I'm apparently kissing your butts. Hope you got something out of the video. And I hope you realize my dedication is deep. Subscribe to the channel. Share this with like-minded people. Become a Patreon. Help us get through it. You can do it. That's about. We love you.